This video is for the husbands, the wives, the boyfriends, the girlfriends, and anyone else who doesn't understand why on earth your loved one is interested in luxury, particularly for this example, in luxury bags. It's such a frivolous thing, right? Why are they wasting so much money on it when you can get a bag for $20 at Walmart? Why do they need more than one? The one bag they already have holds all their things, right? I will answer these questions, explain how luxury can be worth it, and give you ideas on how to be supportive of your loved one without spending a bunch of money. Welcome, I'm Autumn Beckman, and I am here to help you and your loved one live your most luxurious life within your budget. And today I'm here to help you understand why your loved one enjoys luxury so much. Because so many people don't understand it. It just seems like a bunch of really overpriced bags. And it's just a bag, it's frivolous, it's a waste of money. Let's start by getting past the frivolity of it all. And I find the best way to do that is to look at something that you might be interested in that other people might think is frivolous, explore why it's not, and then compare that to the interest in luxury. So I'll assume with this kind of video that you've been sent here by your loved one, and so I'm probably mostly talking to men here. And a lot of men are interested in sports. So let's take professional sports as an example. People could say that sports are a frivolous thing. Watching men throw or kick balls around and getting paid millions of dollars to do that. Fans spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on memorabilia and merchandise like jerseys, tickets, and spending a significant amount of your time watching games, learning stats, especially if you have been taught since childhood that sports are a very important thing that you should be interested in. And a lot of people expend a significant amount of their emotional energy caring about particular teams and players and having emotional, sometimes financial stakes in who wins or loses. All for games that ultimately, for most people, have literally nothing to do with you or your life and have no impact on you. It's not like you're out there playing the game yourself. You're watching other people play a game and paying to see that. So when you think about it that way, it can sound pretty frivolous, like a huge waste of time and money. What is the point of it all? Well, I Googled what the point of it is, and the consensus is that professional sports is an industry worth over $100 billion annually, and that it contributes to the economy in ways that we do understand, but also many ways we don't understand because it has tentacles in so many different things. And there's a sense of community in professional sports. So what does this have to do with helping us understand luxury? Well, luxury fashion is also an industry worth over $100 billion annually. And it contributes to the economy in ways that we are aware of, but also in many ways we aren't because it has tentacles in so many different things. And there's a sense of community to it. If you were sent here to watch this video, that means the person who sent you here likely spends some of their time watching YouTube videos about luxury. And they would be aware that the YouTubers in this space and the viewers in this space in the comment sections and other places have built a sense of community. We have conversations, we share information, we teach each other, we learn from each other. We share moments of excitement as well as lots of moments of frustration, just like people who get together and talk about sports. So fashion is an industry with a huge impact on the world, just like professional sports. It may seem frivolous on the surface, but when you dig deeper, you see that there's really so much more to it. But why is luxury worth it? For example, a handbag. Why would a handbag be worth thousands of dollars when you can get another handbag for $20? Well, that's like eating at McDonald's versus eating at a Michelin star restaurant. There's a huge difference in quality and in innovation. When you want something that is higher quality and that is more innovative, of course you're going to pay more for it. And that is true with handbags. There's a huge difference in the quality of the materials and the craftsmanship when you compare the luxury bags with the very cheap bags, and even with most of the mid-range bags. Are those differences worth thousands of dollars? Well, in terms of actual cost of materials and the labor to make the bag, no, of course not. And we know this. But you also know that anytime you're buying anything, you're not just paying for the materials and the labor. You're also paying for rent on the stores where the products are sold, as well as the headquarter buildings and the factory buildings. You're paying the salaries of the salespeople, the designers, the CEO, the accountants, the maintenance people. And you're paying for advertising. And if you're not okay with paying for that for luxury items, then there are a whole heck of a lot of other things, non-luxury, that you should probably stop buying too. Like overpriced jerseys, game tickets, and exorbitantly priced hot dogs and beer at said game. In fashion, it's usually the luxury design houses who create the new, innovative designs that then influence everything else. You've probably heard of the movie The Devil Wears Prada, whether or not you've seen it. It's become kind of a cult classic. I'm not a huge fan of the movie. I've seen it once, but there's one scene in that film that has always stood out to me. And it's where this person who doesn't know anything about fashion, doesn't care about fashion, is around a bunch of people who are experts in fashion. And this newbie looks at these two shades of blue, which are very similar, and she comments about how they're the same blue, it doesn't matter which one you pick. And one of the fashion experts in the room chimes in with a story that goes something like this, that the blue that she is wearing in the scene isn't just some random blue that she picked up at whatever cheap shop where she got it from. It was in fact strategically chosen as a very particular shade of blue as part of a fashion collection that ran the runway a few years prior. And that color was then picked up by other brands beneath that luxury fashion brand and trickled down to everything beneath it, including that cheap store where she got her cheap shirt. And when you start paying attention to fashion, you'll start noticing that kind of influence, not only across fashion brands, but across many aspects of life and society. And that is one of the many things that makes fashion so interesting from a creative and a business perspective. Now, why would someone need more than one bag? Well, that's all about fashion and circumstantial needs. It's similar in a way to needing a different tool for different jobs. You need a different size, shape, color of bag for different outfits and different scenarios that you're attending. But if none of this is really resonating with you yet, if the money is what you're really caring about, and that's what a lot of people struggle with luxury, those incredibly ridiculous price points, this may help. This is the thing that got me convinced that it was okay to spend money on luxury bags. As someone who grew up in poverty and has worked my way to where I am now. And that is that luxury handbags, unlike those $20 handbags, in many cases can hold all or most of their value, and in some cases can even increase in value. Knowing that, I knew that if I dropped, let's say $1,500 on one handbag, that if I ever really needed that money back, I could sell that bag and I could get a lot of that money back, maybe all of it, maybe even more. With a cheap bag, you can't get your money back. They're not worth anything. But luxury bags are still valued even when they're used, and even when they're old, and even for a lot of them when they're really beat up. Most of us don't recommend luxury handbags as an investment, but it is something to consider if money is a factor like it is for most of us. If you do treat handbags like an investment, you do have to be strategic about it like any other investment. You have to know what you're doing. You have to know what pieces to buy, what to pay for them. Usually if you're paying retail price, you're going to lose money. There are a few exceptions to that, but not many. You have to be aware of the market and the desirability of the bag, and have a sense of whether it will do well on the resale market. And the same is true for sports memorabilia, or reselling tickets, or even collector's items like ticket stubs to a historic game. They're collector's pieces in luxury too. And that's why I tend to shop Preloved, which is just a fancy word for used. And that's something I talk a lot about on this channel, and I always, in the description box below, have the links to my favorite places to buy Preloved. So what are some ways you can be supportive of your loved one when you really don't care about luxury, but they do? Well, first, you can listen to them talk about it. If they've ever listened to you talk about sports or whatever your interest is, then it's only fair that you would listen to them talk about their interests, right? And once you've done that, a really fun thing I've heard from a lot of people who do watch my channel and people in Facebook groups about luxury that they're always impressed when their loved ones do this. When you're out together in public, point out handbags and say, oh, is that one of those bags you were talking about? Or, hey, what's that bag? And that's such an easy, free thing to do to show that you are interested in their interest and that you want to share it with them in some way. And another thing you could do that's totally free is to subscribe to a channel like mine. Not because you're interested necessarily, but because you care about your person and you want to learn more about things that interest them. And I'm really good at doing educational videos about luxury, so there's a lot you can learn on my channel. Or ask your person who their favorite luxury YouTuber is, and if it's not me, then subscribe to that person. And hopefully your person will do the same thing for you to learn more about your interest. So that was 3 free things you can do to support your partner. Now here are a few things that will cost you a little bit of money. And I will have these 5 ideas linked below in the description box. Let's talk about gifts for a second, and I'm not going to tell you to buy them a handbag. Let's go back to the sports example. If you've ever asked your loved one for a gift related to a sport that you like, be it a hat or a jersey or tickets or whatever, and they have gifted that to you, it's only fair that they should be able to ask you for things related to their interest and that you should reciprocate. That does not mean you have to buy handbags. There are so many other things that are available that are far more affordable, that are still related to luxury, and that I think they would appreciate. I'm going to give you 5 examples, starting with the least expensive. The first is this series of books. It's called The Little Book of, and then it will have the brand name of a luxury fashion house. This one is Louis Vuitton, but they also have Chanel, Hermes, Fendi, Gucci, Dior, and several others, which I will have linked below, and these are only about $12 per book. I know if I didn't already have these, I would love to get these as a gift. Idea 2. The fashion houses themselves sell a whole lot more than just handbags. They sell books. They also have notebooks. Those are some of the least expensive things that you'll be able to buy from them. Usually you can find them on their website, but you could also get them in some stores if you have those boutiques available. By the way, if you do live near the boutiques and you wanted to get a gift there, it's better to go into the boutique than to order online, because when you go in the boutique, you're guaranteed the beautiful luxury packaging, and that is one of the things we love about luxury shopping. And I'm going to recommend one book in particular from a luxury house. Now keep in mind the books there, they're often big coffee table books. They're very nice. They're going to be a little pricey. Expect to spend $100 to $200 on a book. The book I would recommend most highly, if the person you care about enjoys Louis Vuitton, and most of us do, it's a book called City Bags, and they don't always have this available. Sometimes, by the way, you have to pre-order books if you're doing it in the store, so try not to wait till the last minute. This book is the pinnacle for Louis Vuitton lovers because it shows so many different Louis Vuitton bags. It's almost like a catalog, and it also gives the history of the bag and shows different iterations of the bag throughout the years. Idea number 3 is housewares from the brand, another one of the least expensive things you can get. I have a very small collection of luxury teacups and saucers because I enjoy tea. Some have coffee mugs. These are going to be a little more expensive than the books. Depending on where you shop, expect to spend a few $100s. It really varies depending on the brand, but that's a really nice thing that you can have around and use every day. And if you have trouble justifying spending, let's say $200 on a teacup and saucer or $150 on a coffee mug, try to think about it this way. You can buy a whole set of dishes at Walmart for $20, or you can buy fine china where one piece costs a few $100s. Think of this as fine china, because that's what it is. Idea number 4, if you have someone who's really into handbags, you could get accessories for handbags. The bag charms tend to be too expensive in my opinion, but you can get a twilly. That's a long skinny scarf that they can tie around their bag to decorate it a bit. Now, if you're familiar with the luxury brands and if you know who Hermes is, they are known to have the most expensive handbag and the most insane prices. Their highly sought after Birkin bags, for example, start around $10,000 or $12,000. But Hermes has the most beautiful silk scarves of any of the brands, and they're actually the least expensive. Particularly the twillies, they're about $200, whereas at Louis Vuitton, they'll be more expensive. At Dior, they'll be more expensive. So get the very best at Hermes. You can order those online. It's rare for most people to have an Hermes near them, and that would be an incredible gift that would blow people's minds. The fifth idea, and I'll have one bonus one I just thought of. The fifth idea is a small leather good. Now, from a place like Louis Vuitton, my recommendation is always the clay. That's CLES, otherwise known as the key pouch. That's this. It's just this little pouch here with a zipper. It's big enough to hold cards, coins, and keys, and then it has this little key ring. So it can be used as a bag charm, or you can put keys on it, or you can use it as a small wallet. So it's very versatile. It's expensive for what it is because it's Louis Vuitton. Current prices are a little more than $300 for these. Insane, I know. But if you have a really special occasion, luxury gift giving is not something you normally do, this would be an incredible gift. And they have them in a lot more than just the monogram patterns. And if your person is not into Louis Vuitton, most brands have something similar. Bonus idea number 6, gift cards. These luxury brands, at least a lot of them, do gift cards. So you could give them a gift card of whatever amount you're comfortable with, and they can put that towards something else that they've been wanting. And I think for a lot of people, giving gift cards is a normal thing these days, but for some people it's still impersonal. I think a luxury gift card, though, is personal and exceeds expectations. Even if it's not for a lot of money, it still shows that you've really thought about that person. It's not like an Amazon gift card where it's so generic. You're acknowledging that you know what your person is interested in and that you support them and their interest. So please let me know in the comment section if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching, for hearing me out. I hope that this helped some. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.